Hello, my lovely friends. This is Valorce again with another video. I'd like you to watch it to the end, okay? Because it's serious and you can get some laugh, but it's also dangerous. And this especially goes to men and women, but mostly men. I would ask you not to watch this video. It's to whom it may concern. You can watch other videos, but you must watch this one only if it applies to you. Number one thing I want to tell you, don't drive on Flatbridge. Go Sligoville. Sligoville, it's longer, but you know it's better. It's less risky. Okay? Don't bite off what you can't chew. Don't be quick to do changes when you don't know what you're doing or what's the outcome. This video is about my friend, a very good friend of mine. I'll give you a little bit about his background. He's a very stern, intelligent man, handsome man. He tells me he used to teach at the University of Toronto. Sorry, the university in Jamaica. He used to be a teacher there. And by talking to him, I realize he's pretty intelligent. I learn a lot from him. And we talk about anything. He's like a big brother to me. Anyhow, this topic is risky. Okay? My friend tells me that he uses this financial institute for decades. And in the industry, everybody's polite and business oriented and stuff like that. And he says he's been going there for years, and you greet on a professional basis. Hi, how are you? And that's it, no more than that. Anyhow, there's this lady who works in that institution for years, and the lady came on to him one day, and she asked him out, and he went out with her, and she paid everything. And they had a really good time, and another time he invited her out. No, she invited him out again, and he accepted, and they go out, they have drinks, they dance and all that. And she asked him out again, same thing, good time. Then the fourth time he invited her, she invited him to her apartment. And they drink as usual and talk and. And the fifth time, she invited him again to her apartment. And they had drinks and snacks and stuff like that. Then it was time for things to happen. Bedroom stuff. So they proceeded to the bedroom. But something strange about this woman. She asked him that she would prefer the top position. Okay. And he agreed. And things started. But she said this woman, I'm gonna say oil, because the way she treated him, it's gonna be for something he has done to somebody. She said this woman was like a wild, untamed horse, and she anointed him with the oil of revenge. I made up that oil name, oil of revenge. And she anointed him merciless. And she anointed him. And he said at one point, his head felt like a nutmeg in a shell. That's what she did to him. She anointed him vigorously. And he says he couldn't understand why his head felt like the head, his brain was disconnected from the head cup. Anyhow, he was worn out. And he said, let me go to the washroom. And he went to the bathroom and he wet up his head. He wet up his face. He wet up his neck. He was drained. And coming from the bathroom, he walked towards the Chesterfield and she said, what are you doing? He said, let me rest a bit now, man. I'm tired. She says, what do you mean? Why did you come here? Why? And she took him to the bedroom. And she started again to anoint him with the oil of revenge. And he said oh my God, she was merciless. He had to say to her, have I done you anything that's wrong? I ask you to forgive me. I apologize. She didn't listen to him. She just continued to anoint him. And he was getting numb. He was getting weak. And his teeth started to chatter. And he had no control over that. And he got weaker and weaker. And he says he felt like he was going to leave this world. And he said he started to pray. And he says, God, is this where you're going to leave me? Is here going to be my end? Help me. And he started to bargain with God. And he prayed fervently. He said, God, please don't let this be my end. And he said when he finished praying and he opened his eyes, he saw his deceased parents, one on the right and one on the left. And he said they were plain as ever. And when he saw them, he said, my God, they come either to take me away or they come to help me. And he moved in survival mode. And he said the only thing that he could think to do, he started pretending as that he has ego. I don't know if that's right, but he was just trembling. Oh, God, help me. I'm so cold. Sorry about that. I'm telephone illiterate, so forgive me, please. And he said he just started to tremble. Oh, I'm so cold. Oh, I'm so cold. Why am I trembling so much? And he was just shaking with every strength he had in his body. And he says, oh, I'm cold. Get me a cup of tea. Please, get me a cup of tea. Why am I so cold? And he said, she got up. And when she got up, he got up and he sat in the chair still shaking like a leaf. Worse than a leaf. And then he sat in the chair and he says to her, bring me the sheet, let me put it over my shoulders. She gave him the sheet and he was just there trembling. And then he says to her, give me my pants. Oh, I'm so cold. Why am I so cold? And she gave him the pants. And he says, get me a cup of tea. Please, get me a cup of tea. And he went to the kitchen to make the tea. And he said, took up his shoes in his hand and he held the front of his pants and he crept to the door and he opened the door of the apartment and he said, I took the stairs. And going down the stairs, I had to hold on very strong because he was so weak. And at the time, he said he reached the first floor, and then he ran to the entrance of the apartment, and he ran out on the street barefooted. And he said he saw a taxi coming, and he waved down the taxi, and the taxi stopped, and the driver said, "Destination, sir?" He said to the taximan, "Drive." And he said the taximan started to drive. And he was looking all the time behind him if she was coming. And he said he wasn't sure he was with us, with what the ordeal he went through in the apartment. And he says he was pinching himself to see if he was with us. But he wouldn't even know. He was more frightened than anything else. And he just sat there in the taxi and he was saying, oh my God, what have I done to this woman? Why she treated me like that? Anyhow, he was in a daze to know that he really escaped what was happening to him. And he said the taxi driver drove far, and the taxi man said to him, "Sir, you haven't given me a destination yet." He said to the taximan, "Where am I there?" And he said, the taximan told him where he was. And he said, "But that's not where I live." So he remembered where he lives. And he told the taxi driver. And the taxi driver told him it's going to take $60 to take you there. And says, "Okay, take me." And he said the taximan took him to his place. And then he came out, fixed up his clothes, put on his shoes. And he said he was walking to his apartment when all these thoughts going through his head. And he said, "You know something? This woman could have unalived me and got away scot-free." And he decided he would never ever speak to her again of what she did to him. And I said to him, "Did you hurt or take advantage of any of her friends?" He said, "No." "Anybody else?" He said, "Can't think of nobody." I said, "That's strange though." So anyhow, he was happy when he go in his apartment and he realized that he was still with us. Now, what I want to say, young men, old men, I said to him, "Do you know what she did to you?" He said, "No." He was telling me in this baby tone because he was still in a daze, And I said to him, "Do you know what she did to you?" He said, "No, me not know." So me tell him, I said, she might or she could have used a chemical enhancer on you. And I told him what it could be. He said, "Me never hear about that." I said, "Look, you claim you're a Cocksman, right? You should know all about those things." So I just want to say, you men out there, be careful. Don't take the top position when you're supposed. Don't take the bottom position when you're supposed to be on top. So be careful. Check out your surroundings. You never know who might be in the closet. You never know how many might be in the closet. But she really, take advantage of him. Anyhow, I hope you all learn from this. And please, we have ancestors. We all do. They're around. They watch. He said if they didn't come, he wouldn't tell me what he had gone through. Anyhow, I would like you to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you, and I'm out.